Hello and welcome to FPL Mates, your best mate for Euro 2020 fantasy football. My name is Dan and today I've got for you a video all about the top hidden gems in Euro fantasy. Those players who are really differential. Not many people own these players and have these players in their team. Not that many people even know these players exist in world football. And certainly your mates who you're in your leagues with, they're not going to have a clue about these hidden gems. So you're going to have a real advantage if you pick one or two of these players. Trust me guys, this is going to be good. But I'm letting the secret out. All of these players are under 5% owned. So less than 5% of people have these players in their team. We've got 10 today and we're going to count down from the highest owned right down to some players which only a few hundred people in the world have in their fantasy team. So if we're talking about hidden gems, these are some serious hidden gems. But yeah guys, hopefully you're going to enjoy this video. If you do, please do leave a like and subscribe, of course, if you're new around here and you just love fantasy content. So let's start you off with Georginio Wijnaldum, a 5% owned 8 million midfielder from the Netherlands. And you're probably thinking, Dan, we all know who Wijnaldum is. He's an energetic deep line midfielder for Liverpool. Well, let me tell you, for the Netherlands, he is a totally different player with a very different role. And that's what makes him a hidden gem. He's a pure attacking midfielder, just like he was in his youth. Do any of you guys play FIFA Ultimate Team? Have you ever noticed that on FIFA Ultimate Team, Wijnaldum only ever gets an in-form card during international breaks? Well, this is why. He is just a beast for the Netherlands. 73 games, 22 goals, 7 assists. These are just kind of not the stats you think of from Wijnaldum. So go to his recent form, even better. In his last 5 games for the Netherlands, Wijnaldum, he scored 4 and 2 assists. So 6 goal returns in 5 games. Absolute madness. He's kind of nailed on to play every game. Probably the second best Netherlands attacker after Depay, but at a much cheaper price. An insane group here as well. There could be some serious goals against Ukraine and North Macedonia. He could do some bits. And, you know, although a lot of people may have put Wijnaldum in their team just because he's a familiar name, I guess, hence the 5% ownership, in terms of what he actually is for his international team versus his role at club level, he is definitely a hidden gem. Leonardo Spinazzola, 3% owned, 5.5 million defender for Italy. Now, you probably heard of one fullback for Italy, the right back Florenzi, but on the left, we have Spinazzola as probably the first choice. Probably the first choice for the left back position. Now, he's had a lot of injury problems, hence not many Italy caps, but he's a real insane attacking threat. He's constantly in the opposition's box. For Roma this season, he has 2 goals and 5 assists in 27 games. For Italy, he has 4 assists in just 13 games. Per minute played, you're kind of going to struggle to beat these returns as a defender. And we're going to want to have some Italian defensive players too if we're on the hunt for clean sheets. So Italy kind of have 7 clean sheets in their last 7 games, which is just an absolutely mad streak of clean sheets they're on right now. Go back a little further, they've only conceded 2 goals. It's since 2019. That's insane again. So Italy are one of these defensive masters in the tournament, and to make things better, they have a pretty good group too. Turkey, Switzerland, Wales. I honestly would not be that surprised if they went 3 for 3 with clean sheets in their group. This would also mean they completed 10 clean sheets in a row. I believe in them. I think it can happen. Now, as I said, he's probably the first choice left back, but there is also the Chelsea left back Emerson. So Spinazzola is not 100% nailed. This is a little bit of a risky one, but the risk can be mitigated if you're a very keen player of the game. That's because since this is the first game, Italy playing the first game of the whole tournament, and the deadline of making your transfers, changing your team is at kickoff, we can check the lineups well before kickoff and make those final changes. If it so happens that Spinazzola doesn't play, we can just switch him out for someone else and before the first game's even kicked off. So we can even switch to another Italy defender. So really, really nice and easy for you there. Leon Goretzka, 2% owned, 6.5 midfielder for Germany. Here's a bit of another risky one, I suppose. But if you're going to get a great price and get a player that no one else is picking, there's always going to be a certain degree of risk. But the players I've picked on this list have all got a lot I like about them. And what I like about Goretzka is very simple. He's got an insane record at international level. In 32 international appearances, he has 13 goals and 4 assists. That's pretty good, right? So That's even better than a goal return every other game kind of thing. He can play it on the wing. He can play it in an attacking midfield role. A lot of people may think he potentially replaces Kroos as one of the attacking midfielders in a three-man midfield for Germany. Maybe Gundogan on the other side. Either way, he looks like amazing value for what he has offered for Germany in the past. The only problem is Germany's horrible group. But certainly in their third game against Hungary and then in the knockout stages, should they qualify, this could be a really interesting pick. Jhin Shaqiri at 2% owned, 7 million midfielder for Switzerland. Probably another guy you've heard of. Don't worry, guys. As we get further down the list, there are going to be some really obscure names for you. But at just 2% owned, this is still a very obscure pick for fantasy. Only 2% people have him in their team. But those ignoring the Shaq man may be missing out a little bit, because whilst he may be a bit of a fringe player for Liverpool, for Switzerland, he's kind of a king. And when I'm looking at this group, Wales in there, Turkey in there, if you were to go for a Swiss attacker, who do we want to go for? Well, for me, it has to be Shaqiri. Over the longest time, he has been one of their most critical, crucial, clinical players. He's kind of has this great record of scoring goals, grabbing assists, better than anyone else in the whole squad. As a midfielder, he's also getting 1 extra point for a goal, an extra point for a clean sheet. So when I look at Switzerland's other attacking players, who are all forwards, who are, 7.5 million, 8 million, 8.5 million each, well, for me, it's a very easy decision to get the same output, more points, and for a lesser price as well. So if you do want a Switzerland attacker, look no further. Cheap, differential, and 100% a certified hidden gem. Ricardo Rodriguez at 2% owned from Swiss to Swiss. This time we've got a 5.5 million defender. I can't tell you enough. Rodriguez is he's not a budget player. Okay, let's not pretend he's a budget player. He's 5.5 million. That's pretty expensive for a Swiss defender. But is he a hidden gem? Yes, absolutely. A few of you guys may recognize him from my video on set piece takers I made the other day. If you haven't watched that already, go check it out if you like. In that video, I said for Switzerland, whilst Rodriguez will probably share free kick and corner duties with Shaqiri, for penalties, it's all about Rodriguez. And honestly, you should never underestimate the importance of a penalty-taking defender. For defenders, you get an insane 6 points for each goal scored. So a goal scored from a defender will instantly make them one of the highest scoring players in the entire round. So when you have one in your team and the penalty is given, and penalties will be given in this tournament, you would say that, come on, there's going to be at least one penalty for Switzerland in this tournament, right? That's going to be pure bliss for you. So, or in Rodriguez's case, Swiss bliss. I swear I did not plan that to rhyme, but there you go. But no, seriously, Rodriguez is a great pick. 9 goals and 9 assists in his international career. A real key player in the team and pretty much nailed to start every game. He can play as an attacking centre-back in a back 3, a left-back in a back 4, and he's often been placed as a left midfielder when Switzerland use a 3 at the back formation as well. So he's very versatile. He's on set pieces. I just really like the look of this guy, particularly in those games against Wales and Turkey. Joachim Mela, 1% owned, 4.5 defender from Denmark. Now we're getting kind of obscure now, aren't we? I've already spoken about how we probably want to go in on some Danish defenders in previous videos. Denmark have 8 clean sheets in their last 10 international games. That's really, really impressive. Not quite Italy impressive, but still really impressive. They're establishing themselves as a real defensive-minded team. England couldn't score against them in their 2 Nations League games. Austria couldn't, Sweden couldn't. Then, number one ranked at that point, Belgium are the only team who've actually scored against them or broken their defence properly over the last year. Now, that's nothing to be ashamed of. I mentioned in my bargains video that Kjær was a good one to go for from that Danish defence. He's kind of same price, nailed on, but he doesn't have that same explosivity. If you're looking for a hidden gem that can get you more than just a clean sheet, Mela is your man. 2 goals and 1 assist in just 8 appearances for Denmark, and he seems to have proven himself as the first choice left back for his country. Even though he's right-footed, usually plays on the right. Is he 100% nailed? No, he's not 100% nailed. Is he actually, going to play? I would say that he plays most games, but in the group, I would probably say he plays 2 out of the 3 games, and I can't really tell you which 2 out of the 3 games we played. Probably the first one and probably the last one, if I had to guess. But, this hasn't stopped him from earning his place, even though he plays on the right, and he's had this big move to Italian side Atalanta not so long ago, and he's had some decent returns for country and club. So I think he could be a great risky gem to go for in a delicious Danish group. Now we have Unai Simone at 1%. He's a cheap 5 million goalkeeper for Spain. I thought I'd throw in a goalkeeper into the mix of this video, of this list, just so there's something in there for everyone. So he's a young keeper who plays for Atletico Bilbao. Lots of people think De Gea at 5.5 million will be Spain's starting goalkeeper. 4% of people have already picked up De Gea. So also, if you've got De Gea in your team already, let this be a warning to you guys, because Unai Simone has actually played the last 6 international games for Spain. It looks like he's kind of the Spanish goalkeeper of the future kind of thing, and he's being backed whilst the form of other keepers for Spain kind of disappointing a little bit. So Spain's group contains Sweden, Poland and then Slovakia. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for clean sheets there, and also in this game goalkeepers may prove themselves to actually be more valuable than defenders, since there's no bonus points but you can get points for saves. So save points might actually be your best hope of getting some returns for your defensive players aside from clean sheets, unless you're going for a really super attacking defender, in which case fair enough. But in terms of keepers, Simone is probably the best hidden gem, the best kept secret. Sasha Kalisic, 1% owned, 7.5 million forward for Austria. Now, we've spoken about him already before in my bargain players video. Then I spoke about him again when I picked him in my first squad draft team stream. That's a lot of words. He is still in my team, by the way, guys, just to let you know. But I'll keep this brief because I do want to keep the hype train going for this guy. This guy's probably one of the most informed strikers in German football right now. He scored 3 in his 3 starts for Austria. He plays Whipping Boys North Macedonia in his first game of the tournament. And best of all, he's only 1% owned. And I bet a lot of those 1% owners are either German football fans or maybe a few FPL mate subscribers as well. So this guy's going to be my icon of the channel over the Euros. Believe me. Get him in your teams. Robin Quaison here, 0% owned. So we're down to the 0% owned players. And I don't think that literally means 0%. I think it more means under 1% owned. But under 1% people have this forward for Sweden. He's 7.5 million. He started his last 2 games with 1 goal and 1 assist over those 2 games. So that's not bad. He also came off the bench in the previous 3 games to that. He's only scored once in those 3 games. But there were substitute appearances, so we'll let him off a little bit. And 2 of those games, the only reason he was benched was because Ibrahimovic was playing instead. And now that Ibrahimovic has an injury, Ibra won't be playing for Sweden during the Euros, which means Quaison will take his place up front in a 2-man Swedish strike force. The other guy in the strike force is Isaac, and I think Quaison offers a slightly cheaper alternative to Isaac if you're trying to save a little bit of cash, I guess. Now, I'll be honest, he has a tough game against Spain first, but after that, he has games against Slovakia and then Poland. So I did want to highlight him to you nice and early before that, just so you're aware of this player and what a differential he could be in the 2nd and 3rd game. So 25 appearances for Sweden, 9 goals, 4 assists. That's pretty good, right? All of these players kind of have over 50% return rate in their games. But more importantly, he's 0%. 0% owned, which is exactly what this video is all about. Enis Bardi, 0% owned. A player so obscure that they actually have spelt his name wrong in the Euro Fantasy game. So if you're searching for him by name in Euro Fantasy, search Bardi without the H. Don't ask me how they messed up the spelling. I guess this gem really is that hidden. Now, at 6 million, he's a super cheap midfielder for North Macedonia. Yes, they might be one of the weaker teams in the competition, but don't sleep on them. Bardi is the best player in that team. He's the star. He's the an attacking midfielder / winger. He's been tearing up La Liga for 4 years now with Levante. He's an absolute free kick machine, a real specialist. I did speak about him a little bit in my set pieces video. He's had a few injuries this season, but he is back now, and he's played in all 3 games for North Macedonia in March, including a tough game against Germany. Now, the results, 1 goal and 3 assists in those 3 games in March. So 4 goal contributions in 3. We will absolutely take that. And for all the reasons above, he's in my current squad draft that I made earlier today. He's also topping my list of hidden gems for a very good reason. The hiddenest of all the gems. And I would guess that only a few hundred people in the whole world have him in their team. And if you're feeling spicy, you could be one of them. Thank you guys for watching this Hidden Gems video. I hope there was a player in here for you. If there was, if you like the look of one of these players, do let me know in the comments. Or if you've got a hidden gem that you think that I might have missed out, put that in the comments as well, because it'd be really interesting to see what kind of hidden gems you guys have found as well. We'll keep it secret together on this channel, don't worry about that. Please do like the video if you found this video helpful. Please do subscribe if you're new around here and you want more fantasy content. There'll be loads of it over the next couple of months, all about Euro Fantasy, of course. But aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, check out the mini league link in the description, and Twitter and Instagram or whatever else you want, all in the description. All that information's there. And aside from that, I'll see you on the next one. See you later, mates. Bye bye.